Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for stopping by to watch another episode here at Investing with All I See Is W, where we talk about investments, health, and self development. Well, today I wanted to add a different element to share with you my insights on how you can actually gain financial independence, or AKA financial freedom. Now, I wanted to share with you what does it take to get there, right? Now, it is going to be a long process and things won't happen overnight, where let's say if you start doing things differently you would expect changes the next day. However, what I'm going to share with you, these are some strategies and techniques for you to focus on and really start on a small scale. And once you start making small incremental improvements on a small scale, you will notice in the long run that you will start achieving your goals, and it will align with where you want to be in life. And that's ultimately having more time and freedom to be able to do what you most enjoy, right? And it's not about you setting yourself time to make money, but really it's having that time for you to do anything that you enjoy. Now, what does it take and how do you get to achieve financial freedom, right? I'll share with you three elements that are required to get you to where you want to be. And step number one, how do you gain financial freedom? Step number one is going to be eliminating and reducing the amount of credit that you owe, right? Like, let's say, for example, if you have a $10,000 credit card balance, the key thing is try to focus on paying that down, because let's say if you focus on spending rather than paying on things that you owe, then that will mean that all of your paychecks will be used consistently just to pay off your debt. And let's say if you do that consistently, then that means you will not have a plan of attack for investing in the future. So the key thing is making sure that you eliminate your credit balance and make sure that it's important that you use your credit cards for transactions and paying it off with your checking account, right? So just reallocating that once the monthly payments are due so that you can reduce the amount owed. And that's very fundamental for you to gain financial freedom. And it's always important to show that you have good credit. That's why it's so important to be mindful, to look at your balance and make sure that it's at the minimal low point utilization credit rate. Okay, now once you are able to eliminate credit balance that you owe, then this will take away all of the stress relievers, and this will allow for you to start diving deep into understanding what else that you have to do. And the second aspect for how you can obtain financial freedom and success is creating a budget for saving, right? So one key thing I wanted to share with you is it's not about how much you make, but it's really how much you spend. So let's say if you make like 150,000 or 100,000 or $50,000, but let's say if your spending habits, let's say if you make about 100K and you spend about 80K of it, then what's the value of having 20K? I mean, of course that 80K that you've spent, the goal is hopefully that it's spent on necessities and not on things like many wants in life versus the necessities. So for example, if I'm watching TV, I can select 200 wants that I want, but do I really need all those items? So make sure you filter down to really evaluate from a deep dive perspective to see, is it really a want or a need? Because in life you really want to focus on the needs so that you can focus on creating your budget and saving, so that you know that this will line up with your total amount of savings. So that's very important to understand, that you create a budget for yourself in terms of just spending habits, because at the end of the day, when you do your monthly updates, you will notice how much you spend. And let's say if you don't track all of that spending habits, then you won't really necessarily see the impact at the end of month performance. Now, next up I wanted to share with you is the last element to gaining financial freedom. So now that we've nailed down eliminating the amount of credit we owe to financial institutions, and now that we have created a budget for saving, the last key aspect is investing. If and when we have the propensity to leverage and use that finances to invest in things that we feel can add value to our investment portfolio. So I'll leave that up to you, whether you like investing in technology, electric vehicle sector, biotechnology, the financial institutions, commodities, whether it's gold, silver, Bitcoin. So you go ahead and decide, but the key thing is investment is very key and fundamental, because when you look at like the S&P or the Dow Jones, just look at the whole history chart from like 1970s up through like 2020. People tend to talk about how their stock market crashed and so forth. For example, like in the 2008 crash, and with the recent crash with the COVID-19 back in March. But to me, I just feel like those are all corrections, right? Because when you look at it on a large scale, you will notice that it is trending upward in the right direction. So that's why it's key to just focus on the fundamentals. And once you're able to eliminate credit, you're able to create a budget, and you're able to save for investing, this is where you are able to gain financial freedom. Because when you invest in the best companies like Google, Amazon, and Tesla, you are investing on the most skilled people who are hired to support these greatest companies. So that's why I feel like you want to make sure you use your money to ensure that you invest in the companies that can add value to your finances. And overall, these are the steps for how you can gain financial independence. And I hope that this video was valuable in that it gave you insight on just strategies on how you can gain. And most importantly, by gaining financial freedom, this will definitely allow for you to live a life that's more satisfying, where you won't have much issues with bills and worrying so much about just finances. So overall, I hope this video is valuable and that you're able to gain insight on how you can gain financial independence. So thanks again for watching another episode here at Investing with All I See Is W. And if you found this video valuable, please consider liking and hitting the subscribe for more related content. Thanks again, and let's gain on the positive proceeds. Thank you.